Hi everyone, #1 Marmaduke fan here. I've kind of secluded myself in what I hope is an out-of-the-way spot of the airport, and I got triggered. I just caught up on my Spider-Gwen. So 2021 and 22, nothing I can say about them that I didn't say in my first two videos on Spider-Gwen. I don't know, just starting to catch more lazy errors. I live tweeted that out, but those aren't worth the video. So issue 23 has a guest artist. So Rodriguez does the opening bit, and then Hannah Blumenreich and Jordan Gibson take over. I don't know exactly what their relationship was, but I'm guessing Hannah was maybe the penciler, and Hannah Blumenreich also co-wrote this with Jason Latour, who's the regular. I'm guessing Jason wrote the introduction, and I sense Hannah's style in the mini story that is contained within this issue. So it's actually a pretty clever bit to do a transition from artists, because first they show the Watcher, and the Watcher's bored and he wants to see something, and he's like turning the channel. That's what he watches, and then he's wanting to see something with real human drive and emotion. Gag, that's not going to happen. And then he changes the channel to see MJ and her band. So I'm skipping the Watcher bit to get to Hannah Blumenreich's bit. Now, I've met Hannah Blumenreich. I've collected some of her work. I'm sure she's an SJW. You know, you search her, you find lots of Peter Parker, Human Torch, XD art. She ships those two. She's done some indie comics that are essentially kind of cute little stories about Spider-Man, and you know, I'm happy that she got a chance to write for a real Spider-Man book, but this is SJW garbage, and I know that she can do better than this. So, you know, it's kind of lazy art from her compared to what she normally does. It's an interesting case study of what not to do with your drawing style if you have a cartoony drawing style, and the story is garbage and it's toxic, and I think we need to talk about it. So MJ's suspecting that Gwen may be Spider-Woman, and they're about to go do a performance, but Gwen Stacy, she's off doing her own thing. So Mary tries to convince, I don't know, this girl to take Gwen's place as the drummer. And so the first thing I'm going to observe is lots of flat pink empty backgrounds, some really weak perspective drawing with things pushing forward and backward in space, and especially on Mary Jane, wonky, awkward, over-angular faces, where I think maybe Hannah's trying to go for comedy, but it looks like Hannah's trying to ape a more realistic style or the Marvel style, but Hannah's really most comfortable doing simple little cartoon drawings floating in front of a blank background. And when trying to push it towards more realistic, we just get this wonky, crazy-looking MJ. This is even kind of a cute thing, you know, yay, clap, 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 and then frowny face, but still doing the little clap, clap, clap. That could be cute, but the expressions aren't selling it. They're breaking us out of the world. So off they go to get some bubble gum, and MJ breaks a heel. And here's an example of, I think, Hannah drawing in a way that's comfortable for her. Very simple, you know, not much bells and whistles on it. They're an elegant, simple style, but then back to these kind of wonky, off-model, kind of contorted skull faces, right? So in expressions like this, we see sort of the anime-ish vibe of over-the-top cutesy expression, another simplified angry face expression. But when she tries to draw realistic stuff and tries to ape, you know, a realistic superhero style, it just comes off as generally awkward. So MJ sees one of her old boyfriends. The boyfriend wants his old records back. Okay, here's a panel I thought where this might be Hannah's best strength. It's sort of like Bruce Timm, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond kind of a deal. This is where it feels most comfortable and most natural, even if it's pretty simple and sparse on the details. But then back to like the wonky, semi-realistic figures. All right, so MJ loaned her records to Liz Allen, and she's not talking to Liz Allen anymore. So Liz Allen's mad at MJ, so she says, you two can come in, but she has to stay out. And then Liz makes that kind of grumpy expression. So here's Hannah again, drawing kind of goofy, cutesy expressions, and then back to creepy, weird MJ. And more blank backgrounds. Okay, so I just in my last video talked about like kindness and critique, of trying to encourage people, of trying to help them point them in the right direction of where they're going to go. So why do I roast comic books? Because I know lazy art when I see it, and I can compare it to other art I've seen from an artist and I can see the diminishment of passion. This is not passionate art. If you're going to draw Spider-Man fan art all the time and get your chance to have your work published in a Marvel comic book, people probably aren't going to read your indie zines, but they are going to read your Marvel comic book. Bring your A game. Make it count. Show some love, show some detail, put your energy into it. Love what you do. All right, here's where the creepy SJW stuff starts. So the other band girl with the black hair gets the records, and now enter dun dun da da, a white male with blonde hair, and he thinks she's interesting. And he talks about how she's playing hard to get, and she says, yes, that's exactly what's happening right now, and she kind of blows him off, go away. And this privileged white male, look at that. Okay, whatever, sorry for being friendly. Start the creepy music, gang, start playing it. So back out, more solid blue backgrounds, more wonky faces, more distorted and shape-shifting skulls. More blue backgrounds, look at I know Hannah can draw a pretty face if she tries. So out comes the girl with black hair. These characters are so forgettable. Who are they? Say their names a few times, but their personality is that of girls in band. And MJ's is kind of the personality of catty mean girl, I guess, who is a little too controlling. So out she comes, and hey, what took so long? A boy was talking to me. It was excruciating. Heterosexuality, am I right? Okay, so out they go. They start walking home, and of course, the laws of perspective are shifting and changing. Gigantic sidewalk. They are either standing on the street or they've shrunk, and he's a dwarf, and now the angles change awkwardly, and now we're apparently in a bird's eye view, but all right, but this guy who said hi to her and she blew him off, he's went away from the party, he's followed them out into the street, and he's making hay about it. When does this happen in real life? Well, you might meet, socially awkward or antisocial individuals who can't take a hint, but this doesn't happen in real life. This happens in the imagination of someone who daydreams about punching, MAGA hat wearing white men with blonde hair. Those horrible, awful, cis, white, hetero males. Oh, man, they're so disgusting. Am I right? They just don't understand that if you say no, that no means no, and that they don't want to date you. They're so privileged, they think that everyone is obliged to owe them a date. So, as happens in real life so often, this, handsome, popular-looking young man has followed them out into the street. He's left the party to follow them and make hay about this girl he said hi to and brushed him off. And then, show me your phone. Your boyfriend's not in there, I bet. And they say back off, and he tries to grab the phone, all right? Now, let's think about this. So he is acting in an aggressive manner. This is a situation where if you were in this real life situation, you might want to use self-defense, and that might be reasonable. But let's see what happens. MJ takes a foot to the back of his knee and punches his lights out. So even though I said this is a situation where if you were in this in real life, you might want to defend yourself, MJ's action just out of proportion. Okay, take all you FGGs out there, take the challenge. Show me this story happening in the reverse. Show me the story of the girl chasing after the boys and maybe being a little too aggressive in chasing after the boys, and then a boy, heel to the knee followed by a haymaker that knocks him out. He is unconscious. Brain damage has been done. And then they just walk away and leave him lying in the street. Okay. More weird, wonky drawing, trying for an angular style. Nothing else looked like this. Oh, cutesy MJ. Oh, this is so cute. Sure, her shoulders have pushed forward in space, and her hands are resting underneath her rib cage, not on her hips. It's so tee-hee cute. They knocked him out, guys, and left him on the street. So they go play, and Gwen doesn't show up, and they ride back, and here's where it gets bad. All right, so she says, I'm still quitting, you know. And MJ says, okay, I am. I believe you. I don't care how many guys you punch in the face. I'd punch all the guys in the face for you, Glory Grant. Okay, so let's say this happens to you. You go to a party and some weirdo follows you out into the street and he's too aggressive. Are you going to talk about that at the end of your day like, wow, that was so cool. I just spent all day dreaming about, you know, the one day where I'll get to punch a privileged white blonde male in the face and knock him out. Oh, I'd punch all of them out for you. It's so cool. Ooh. I have talked before about the healthy male fantasy. The healthy male fantasy is essentially you go out and you see some mugger attacking a little old lady, and you run up and you punch the mugger and you save the little old lady's life, or you save the beautiful young lady's life, and you're the hero. You fight the terrorist, you run into the house and grab the kids and run them out of the fire. That's the healthy male fantasy. An unhealthy fantasy is something like, I don't know, you want to torture your bully from high school. You have weird, creepy fantasies about hurting your dad or something, right? Those are the kind of fantasies where you need to go see a psychologist and talk about the issues you have. But the healthy male fantasy is essentially doing violence to protect innocent people from criminal people. Who has this fantasy? What kind of person in their mind, when they're writing a story, says, I want to tell a story where a girl like me, some weirdo asks her out and he doesn't get the hint and he follows her out there and then she punches him out with a one-hitter quitter. Who tells that story? Well, the people who tell that story are people who deeply desire to punch straight, white, blonde men. And this story is the vehicle for drawing a picture of a girl who's supposed to be just like you, punching an evil, white, straight, blonde male. This is disgusting. This is yet another example of why MJ is toxic in this universe, and I am done. No more Spider-Gwen. Ooh. I don't have my markers. So, and I'm not going to rip it. I'm going to draw all over this when I get home. A #1 Marmaduke fan. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.